Welcome to Soul Infused Monday. Welcome back to a new episode this week. Thank you for showing up every week to learn and grow and to start the week on an inspired way. So the Soul Infused Monday show is your show for an inspired and meaningful week. Today's topic is the top 5 reasons why you might be actually feeling stuck in your life right now. Now, when it comes to feeling stuck, it can have many different reasons. It can show up in many different ways. So I would like for you to tune into for a moment, and maybe you feel stuck right now, or maybe you felt stuck in the past. We all feel that way in sometimes. And so tune in for a moment, take a moment you can even close your eyes. It's always a great opportunity to even reconnect with yourself, to connect with yourself, to take a deep breath, to become present in this very moment with me here right now. And if you are watching or listening into this at this right life moment, leave me a comment below, say hello, let me know where you are watching from. And if you're watching or listening to the replay, leave me a comment below as well. And if you can't leave a comment, just send me a message. I always love to hear from you. I love to hear where you are listening in from and what you are currently experiencing. So if you are currently experiencing some sort of feeling stuck in your life, share with me. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why that might be. Of course, there might be many more, and maybe none of them resonate with you, and maybe all of them resonate with you. The most important thing is that you are here, that you are taking time for yourself, for your own personal growth, for inspiration, and to shift your energy and to uplift in some way or another. So who is here today? Pamela is here. Hello. Tina is here. Europe is in the house. Fantastic. So I want to say one thing right away, that if you are currently or ever in the past or in the future feel stuck, I want to say that being stuck or feeling stuck is not necessarily a bad thing. So take a breath. If you are in this moment feeling stuck, just take a deep breath. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. It can be a good thing. And I will tell you why in a second. But in case you're judging yourself for feeling stuck, or in case you think, oh my God, it's such a bad thing, I invite you to let that go. Just put it aside, skip it, and see it as an opportunity. Because when we feel stuck, it means something is not moving. Now, the reality from an energetical perspective, there is always movement. Now, there's a difference between being in flow and things run smoothly versus it feeling kind of stuck, when it blocks. However, from an energetical perspective, there is no such thing like stagnant energy. Like, there's always some movement. The movement just feels so much more constricted and tight, and it doesn't necessarily feel good or in flow. However, there's no such thing like that staying stuck. So in case you're afraid of that, or you're judging yourself for it, or you feel like, oh my God, just take that pressure off, take that judgment off, and see it as an opportunity, and look at it with curiosity and investigate. What is it actually that makes me feel this way? Does it make sense? So if you're currently stuck, let me know why and in which area, and I will help you through that if you leave me a comment here on the show, because then I can basically give you a response to you directly. Now, so I'm going to share 5 reasons why you might be feeling stuck. You might heard them before, and I want to say repetition is key. Repetition is key. And I say this again, repetition is key. repetition, repetition, repetition. It doesn't matter how often you've heard something before. If there's something you want to keep listening in, you want to hear again over and over and over again. It's the same that when you study something, when you master something, you want to repeat and keep doing and practicing. So if you hear something and think, oh, duh, Sonia, I know that already. It's like, great. Well, here's it again. And you can take it a notch deeper. Now, one reason, and then in no particular order, that this is the most important, or this is, the least important, and there are way more than these 5 reasons. I'm just giving you something so that you can dig deeper and work and have an understanding around it. So the number one that I'm going to share, it's not the number one, but the first, is that you don't really know what you want. And when I say that phrase, I emphasize the word really. One of the reasons that we feel stuck is that we don't really know what we want. Now take a moment and tune in. It's like, okay, so what is it that I really want? And ask yourself that question and go deeper and deeper and deeper. Maybe on the surface, it looks like, okay, I want to have a beautiful relationship, or I want to have more money, or I want to have a house, I want to, or whatever, I want to feel good about myself, I want to be healthy. And you might be clear. So, and if you are 100% clear, that might not be your reason that you feel stuck. However, I would always invite, and I do this myself, it's like, what is it that I really want? So let's say I have that. Okay. What's underneath? What is it that's really meaningful to me, most important to me? What is it that I really want? And you keep asking the question, to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. That's one reason. Because when we don't know what we exactly want, like really deep inside, not the surface level, then we are obviously not experiencing it. And therefore we are not fulfilled, or it doesn't feel, in flow or meaningful. And therefore you are not going towards that because you're not really clear. Does it make sense? I often have that analogy. It's like if you would go to the airport and you would say, you go to the counter and you say, oh my gosh, I want to have a ticket somewhere. And the woman asks you, or the man, okay, where do you want to go? I said, I don't know, but I just don't want to be here where I am. I just need something different. I'm not happy here. I feel stuck. I feel so stuck. And I want to get away from here. I don't want to feel this way. And he said, I want to get a ticket somewhere. And it was, I said, I'm happy to help you, but if I don't know a little bit more of where you want to go, I can't actually give you a ticket because there's so many different options, right? So we are so focused on what we don't want, or we are so focused on only a part of it. And we are usually focused on getting away from pain or getting away from being stuck, that we are not clear on where it is that we want to go. Does that make sense? So this is one reason that you can use with curiosity, with investigating deeper and using it as an opportunity for you to help to feel unstuck, right? So again, and if you didn't hear the first thing I said this in the beginning of the show, being stuck or feeling stuck is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a really great thing because it's just a sign of something is not in alignment, something is not in flow, something is not where you want to be, and it creates friction. And that friction creates tightness and stuckness and brings up a lot of, sometimes very uncomfortable emotions. But that's a good obstacle, so to say, that we get to kind of pass through in order to get to the other side. Does that make sense? So the other, let's continue with number 2. Number 2, or the second one, again, it's not in a particular order. And that's a big one for many of us. And I revisit this again and again. And I am actually revisiting this right now in my own life, because I'm always very transparent and very honest with you. And I have been feeling stuck myself. And it happens over time sometimes it's a short stuckness, sometimes it's a real existential kind of transformational feeling of stuckness. So there are many different layers. So the second reason why you might feel stuck in your life is that there's not enough meaning in your life. That there's not enough meaning in your life. And it can be whatever it means to you. But often we feel stuck when there's something missing, when there's something deep, meaningful missing. Now that could be, and everybody's different, but it could be a sense of purpose. It could be meaningful relationships or friendships. It could be more meaning in your workplace, or maybe it has to do with family. What is really bringing you a sense of meaning in your life? And investigate and check in. Do I have enough meaning? Am I living a meaningful life, a truly meaningful life? Because if you don't, that can give you a sense of being stuck as well, because you're not living the way that you know is available to you on a deeper level. Now, that's a big one for many. And maybe the first one resonates with you, maybe the second. And the third reason that I want to give to you today on why you might be feeling stuck. And that's also a big one. That's a really big one. That's a big one. And it sounds easier than, that we can really dig deeper into that. It sounds kind of easy, but one of the reasons that you might be feeling stuck in your life is because you're not living your truth. And it sounds kind of simple, but there's so much depth to this, because the question is also in that case, what is your truth? What is your deeper truth? What's your soul's truth? What's the truth of your being? And are you living your truth? Now, when you're not living your truth, we kind of live some sort of a lie. And we all do that, by the way. So don't get there's no judgment, you do it, I do it, we all do it. So embrace it, right? But the thing is to really see, okay, what is it that I'm not living that is actually my truth? That also can be in different areas in your life. It could be in relationships. Maybe it's a relationship that you're in that it's not actually really the relationship I want to be in there anymore. Or maybe it's a boundary issue, or maybe you have a truth that you're not speaking up. And there are, of course, many reasons why we are not living our truth. And that's not the content for this episode today, because that's way deeper. That goes way deeper. And you might have to do the deeper inner work to explore, okay, what are my fears? What are my beliefs? What's keeping me there? Why am I actually not living my truth? But these are all questions that you can revisit and dig deeper and explore for yourself, or with someone that you work with, a coach, a therapist, or even friend. And that's what I do with my clients as well. Ultimately, it's really about unraveling the things that are keeping us from living our true, authentic self. Because when we are not truly authentic to our soul's purpose, or just truth of who we are, there's always something that is not flowing. So that could keep you stuck as well, right? So the one reason was that you don't know what you really want. Another reason could be that there's just not enough meaning in your life. And the third one was that there's some sort of a truth that you're not living. So I'm curious, out of the three that I shared already, does any of those resonate with you? Does any of those ring a bell? Is anything coming up for you? And do you have any questions? I'm here for you today. I'm always happy to answer your questions. And I see a comment here. I am stuck smoking cigarettes. I want to be healthy and have the money I spent on cigarettes. Yeah, I hear you. Addiction is a big one where we can feel very, very stuck. It's like a vicious cycle, especially when you know, hey, it's actually not good for me and I keep doing it, right? And in that case, some of the things that I shared can absolutely be part of it. And also then ask, okay, again, what truth am I not living, and what's underneath that's keeping me from revealing that? And that might also help with the fourth that I'm going to share in this case. So let me share all of the 5, and then we can see. And all 3 are landing. Thank you. They're all landing. Yeah. So one other reason that you might be feeling stuck in your life is, and that's such a obvious one, but it's just so profound, and repetition. So one of the reasons that you might be feeling stuck is that you are afraid. And it's a fear. There are many different layers of fear, but one big one is the fear of change. We often feel stuck, and I can relate to that personally as well. We often feel stuck when something in us, it's not conscious. I'm talking about unconscious pattern and fears and things that are running our life, right? There's a fear of change on a deep level. And when we are afraid of change, that means also we are obviously afraid of changing where we at, even though that does not feel comfortable. But that can have a sense of keeping us stuck, because we know we want to go somewhere else, but there's such a fear of moving in that direction. And the fear can be many, many different levels, but I'm just going to share a few of the main fears that keep us stuck. One fear is the fear of being alone, being abandoned, kind of being lonely. Like, that's a big fear of all of us. We all, not all, more or less all of us. That's a big fear. Another fear is a fear of rejection, and a fear of judgment, of being judged, being rejected, and ultimately that leads to being alone. So that kind of like combination of beliefs is a huge piece sometimes that keeps us stuck. Does it make sense? I'm going to take a sip of water, check your comments here. Yes, fear of change, yes. Trying to be a people pleaser and neglecting myself. It's never too late, and my journey has begun. Working on the courage to say no, do and build. Yeah, beautiful, Beth. Great to have you here. Hey. Yeah, there's so many reasons, and boundaries is a big one. People pleasing. I'm coming from the people pleasing background. I used to be a huge people pleaser. And there's a difference between caring for people and making a difference and being kind versus pleasing, because often the pleasing goes against our own needs. And you got to take care of your own needs. You got to put yourself first in order to actually really be able to help other people. And I know that's often like a very tricky topic for many of us, especially for women, because we are so programmed to give, and feel bad when we take, or some of us can't even, right? So it's very important, because then you're not living your truth either. When you give and overgive, you're not living a truth either. So you're not in alignment. So in some way that will not feel in flow and authentic as it could be. Yeah. Yes. Okay, thanks for your comments. Good. So, and one other reason that I want to share with you, number 5 for today, and that's a big one. Also, I mean, they're all big, obviously. But the other reason that you might feel stuck, or you feel to just keep staying stuck, because that's the issue here. Like, you know, we all feel stuck sometimes, but sometimes it takes a long time. We feel like we're staying stuck and there's no movement, and no matter what I do. The 5th reason is that you don't have the proper support. And when I say proper, it's like, yeah, you might have friends, you might talk, or maybe not, but you need proper support to get you unstuck. Because here is the truth. If you would just know everything, and you know exactly why you're stuck, and you know what to do, and you would just do it, you wouldn't even listen to me. You know, you wouldn't even have this issue, right? The reason is that we are blind to ourselves. I am a huge advocate for inner work on myself as I keep working with my clients. I work on myself continuously, relentlessly, not reluctant. It's the totally opposite. And I am very good at what I'm doing, and I help my clients to really break through deep trauma blocks and all of that, what's keeping us stuck. And I keep doing that for myself, because we keep growing, we keep expanding, and it's a beautiful journey. And what I see is that if you don't have a proper support, if you don't have someone that's working with you, that can guide you and get you out to the other side, or can give you a perspective that you don't see, that can help you to dig deeper to what is the wound, what's the pattern, what's the belief. And if you are at this in your life that you don't want to invest, for example, for a coach or a therapist or a healer, then make sure that you have support in other ways. What I mean by that, you want to have people in your life that you can share from a safe place, and that they listen, they don't try to fix you, they don't, they don't judge you. You want to have a support system, because the worst thing that we can do is when we feel stuck is that we try to get unstuck by ourselves, or that we hide. And we all want to do that in some way, back in the days when I was really stuck in something, I was just at home, shutting down, eating, binge eating, Netflixing, whatever, just didn't want to talk to anyone. And obviously that's not very helpful to get unstuck, but you want to have a really good support system. And if you don't have a support system, or if you don't even want to talk to someone and you feel like so stuck, then listen to something. Listen to someone that inspires you. And it doesn't have to shift right away. When you feel stagnant, when you feel blocked, it's just like a magic pill, and you do this and I feel unstuck again, right? No, it's more, you want to keep motion, you want to keep moving, you want to listen to someone that hey, that will make me feel more in alignment, that will make me feel more like I'm understanding myself better, that will make me feel more expanded. Did you notice I didn't use the word to make me feel good? Because feeling good, what does that actually mean, right? Tune into something that is motion, like expansion, inspiration. That's a movement. And then you can feel good, or you're not feeling good as well. Yet that's fine too, but you want to keep things moving. So take a nice deep breath for a moment. Just tune in. And maybe think of someone that is really supporting you in your life. That hey, I can go, if you choose to or not. Or maybe you just listen to it, especially in the morning. Sometimes it takes me an hour or two to even get to a better mindset when I'm in a really stuck place. Or if I wake up and I feel like I'm kind of in a depressive, sad mood, and I do my meditation, and I take a lot of time in the morning for my own self-care. And then there's still days where I feel like, oh my God, I feel so stuck. And I just start listening to someone that I know will take me to a different place. Or I focus on something else or someone else, instead of judging yourself for being stuck and trying so hard and putting pressure on yourself to stay unstuck. Next time you feel this way, next time you feel like, or you hear you saying these words, right? Because you don't want to keep saying this over and over again. If you say 10 times, oh, I'm so stuck, I'm feeling stuck just by saying it. And even though I'm using this today very consciously, it's not something that I would keep saying over and over again. But I know that many of, many people struggle with that. It's a reality for a lot of people that they feel stuck. Now, next time you do feel this way, or you're feeling this way right now, take a deep breath. Tell yourself, it's okay that I feel this way. There's an opportunity here. And there's something that wants to move. There's something opening up for me that I'm not seeing yet. Maybe I'm afraid of it. Maybe I'm not clear. Maybe I got to talk to someone. or maybe I just don't feel meaning, like there's not enough meaning in my life. Like just investigate, be curious, take the judgment off, take the pressure off, and check in. What's the obstacle that wants to break for me in order to live a more meaningful, authentic life? Okay, so I'm curious now to hear from you. Out of, thank you, Tina. Yes, you're very good. Thank you. I'm going to repeat the 5 reasons. And I invite you to tune in for a moment. I invite you to tune in. What's your biggest takeaway from today? What's your biggest takeaway from today? No matter what it is, so small or that big. I'm going to repeat those 5 reasons just for you to have a repetition, to tune in. And I invite you to take a moment, whether you are listening in later when you're live, if you can leave a comment, or if you want to send a message. Take a deep breath and tune in. What's your biggest takeaway? What have you heard here today that landed for you, that resonated for you, that made an impact on some way? Okay, and then leave me a comment or send me a message. Share it, because when you share it, even thinking about what's my biggest takeaway here today, will help you to go into the right direction energetically. It will anchor it for you, and you will remember more clearly. And by sharing it, you put energy in motion, and you're actually helping others also with your takeaway, because you have the power to influence anyone, anytime. I live by something, and it doesn't mean it's 24/7 and 100% every time, because I'm a human being and I'm as messy as everyone else, just maybe more consciousness because I choose to, and I've been doing this work for over 20 years, but I'm as messy as anyone else. So, but how I approach things in my life is, when I meet someone, as much as I can, I would like to leave them in a better place when I leave. That's always my intention. And when you share something that you learned, you give someone else the opportunity to learn something as well. And you might actually change their lives for that moment. You don't know that. I don't know whose life I touch every time, unless they tell me. But they often don't tell me. But I trust that they do. So, what has been your biggest takeaway? And leave a comment below. And I'm going to repeat real quick the 5 reasons that you might be feeling stuck in your life right now. So one is that you don't really know what you want, that there is not enough meaning in your life. Another one is that you're not living your truth in some way, that there is fear of change, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, some sort of fear of change that is keeping you stuck. And the other one is that you don't have a proper support system. Okay, so I'm going to hear your takeaways here, and then I'm going to jump off. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I love you. And if you are having a hard time right now or today, know that you're not alone. And also know and remember, this shall pass, even though sometimes it feels really bad when we're in it. Reach out, talk to someone. Don't stay in your own bubble, because I know that we often want to do that, but give yourself that gift of self-love and let someone else help you if you feel really stuck. All right, so biggest takeaway, I'm going to read 2, and then I'm going to jump off, come back on Monday for a new episode of Soul Infused Monday. And I wish you a wonderful, meaningful, a really meaningful week, and that you get inspired and that you inspire someone else. So, biggest takeaway, stuck is not bad. It's an opportunity. Oh, this is such a good takeaway. I want to repeat this one. Stuck is not necessarily bad. It's an opportunity. Super great takeaway. My biggest takeaway today is what it is that I really want, to be really clear. Really great takeaway. Thank you. And you always say the right things when I need them. You were my support for the day. Thank you. Appreciate you saying that. For one person that I touch, for one person that I made a difference, I feel already I contributed, and it brings meaning to my life. So thank you for being here. I will see you next Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And if you need any support in between, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Much love.